In this video, you will learn how to draw the contour lines when using a grid. So you can see here, I have a grid on my printed image and a grid on my white piece of paper. I'm going through and counting to make sure I have the correct amount of boxes. I should have 8 boxes wide and about 10.5 boxes down. The extra paper at the bottom I will cut off when this process is complete. So when I'm drawing my lines, I like to use either an HB, a B, or a 2H pencil. Those are pencils that are going to give me a lighter line. And I'm going through here and figuring out a box to start. Now, it does not matter where you start. I like to kind of start towards the top and work my way down so that my hand is not always running through the graphite on the paper. So what you really need to be paying attention to is where do the lines of your image fall along these grid lines. And you can see here I've given myself a mark along the bottom of the box and a mark along the top, and then I'm going through and filling in. Now the key here is you really have to observe. It would be easy for me to just draw like a perfect curve here, but if I look really carefully at the curve of her hair, there's a slight little bump, and I want to make sure that I include that. I'm really working to observe and draw everything I see. The trick here is not drawing what you think you see or what your mind tells you you should be seeing, but slowing down to observe the lines within your image. Now here you can see me doing what I call the halfway trick. Now the smaller the boxes you have, the easier it is to fill these in. So the way that I like to draw, and you'll see me do this several times, I like to imagine that my box is cut in half. So right there you can see I just drew that line in. If your box is cut in half, now I can pay attention to, okay, does that line fall to the left of the halfway mark or to the right, to the top or to the bottom? I'm continuously going through and making marks along my grid line and just filling the lines in. Again, being careful to observe how the line looks. Now, as you see me fill in the rest of my contour lines, I want you to pay attention to a few things. The first thing is what I'm doing right here on these important bits, the facial features, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and I also do this later on in some important areas of clothing. I am taking my boxes on my white piece of paper are every 1.5 by 1.5 inches, and that's pretty large. So as you can see there, I cut each of these boxes into 4. So I divided it in half vertically and horizontally to make my boxes smaller. The smaller my boxes, the easier it is to draw. Now I'm going through here and filling in some clothing. The clothing lines are not nearly as important as the facial features. If some of those are a little off, it will still look like her, but I'm drawing lightly. I am observing, I'm drawing what I see, and I'm also making sure to include all of the lines that I will need to shade. So here you can see my finished contour line drawing. I have the obvious lines within my image, but I have also included outlines of shadows and highlights so that later on when I'm going into shade, I can accurately see what I need. I hope this helps. As you begin your portrait drawing, remember to draw lightly, draw what you observe, and include all of the lines that you need to help you shade. Have fun!